Yeah, Richie Castellano hitting that 15th fret, motherfucker. How are you, folks? Welcome to the show, the big show. It's Wednesday already, and I'll tell you, I love a 4-day week. By the way, speaking of that, no show Monday, Labor Day. I'm not going to sit here talking to a mic where you guys are fucking drinking with your relatives and grabbing titty in the pool. By titty, I mean your Uncle Al, who's, living on donuts. And so no show Monday, but we'll do the free show. Regular week starts on Tuesday, all the way to Friday, all right? Always thinking about you kids. That and my cousin's coke problem. This guy's in deep doo-doo. Coming at you live, Patreon members. Love you. You are the bread and butter. Oh, Alan Marshall, I've mentioned your name before on the air, so we appreciate it. The guy sends us a lot of money and stuff, but he was getting a little whiny, complaining about whatever. But he's a great fan. I have mentioned your name before. And as far as Cameo, I don't do Cameo shout-outs, so I don't know what you were talking about with the Cameo thing. I always mention plug-in Cameo at the end. But Alan Marshall, thank you. You happy now? I hope so. Okay. Coming at you live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
I want all of you to enjoy your cake. So, enjoy.
Run through a motherfucker face.
Yeah, run through a motherfucker face. That guy went to 4 years of college. Literature major. Real quickly, you can get these at nickdip.com. Thursday, September 26th, circle it. I'll be at Wise Guys Comedy Club, Salt Lake City, Utah. First time I've been there. Friday and Saturday, the next two nights right after that, September 27th, 28th, the Comedy Works in Las Vegas. Thursday, October 10th, Levity Live, Nyack, New York. Friday, October 11th, the Strand Theater in Seymour, Connecticut. Friday, November 15th, the Cortland Repertory Theater, Cortland, New York. Saturday, November 16th, the Comedy Works, Saratoga Springs, New York. We actually added a date early in November. I can't bring it up yet, but I'll be going 3 weeks without a day off. I'm already cranky about it. New Year's Eve, Tarrytown Music Hall, Tarrytown, New York. And then in 2020, Friday, January 24th, the Ridgefield Playhouse, Ridgefield, Connecticut. Saturday, February 15th, the Kelsey Theater in Lake Park, Florida. And don't forget Cameo.com if you want me to send you a personal video roasting somebody that you hate or love. All right. What's going on today? Oh, Ilhan Omar is back in the news. And guess what? She's not bad-mouthing Trump. She's in some hot water. As Jason says, she's putting the Infidel back in Infidelity. I got to tell you, Jason, that was a zing-zangler. What is she doing wrong? Her campaign fund, she was using some of her campaign funds and putting it towards travel for a man that she's allegedly having an affair with. That's right. Can you imagine?
Durka, Muhammad Jihad. Sherpa, Sherpa, Bacala. Durka, Muhammad Jihad. Sherpa, Sherpa, Bacala.
When she comes, she goes, Allah Akbar! Anyways, her campaign has dispersed tens of thousands of dollars in travel expenses to the company owned by the political strategist whose wife accused him Tuesday of having an affair with this woman who dresses like she's out of the Old Testament. Here she's seen putting her finger in the air to see which way the political winds are blowing, towards Mecca, I'm guessing. That was brilliant. We're using that on the... Turns out she's just another dirty American politician.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
FEC records reveal that Omar campaign began making travel reimbursements to Tim Minette's company E Street Group on April 1st, about a week before Dr. Beth Jordan Minette said her husband admitted to having an affair with the congresswoman. That's according to the divorce filing in the New York Post. Omar's campaign funded 21 large, as they say, $21,547 in travel for East Street Group starting in April. Tim Minette is partner with the company, according to his profile. Beth Minette said in her court filing that Tim Minette's extensive travel, in quotes, with Omar is likely unrelated to his work with E Street Group, and she believes he's probably been shooting his hummus all over her. Defendants' more recent travel and long work hours now appear to be more related to his affair with Rep. Omar than with his actual work commitments. How dare she?
Liar, liar, whore, and you know it.
We took her, hey, what if you tried this where you grew up? What would happen? You know what would happen. You'd have your limbs removed. There'd be a pair of tits with a fucking turban on it. You're lucky you're in America, is my parent. Government ethics watchdog Tom Anderson of the Conservative National Legal and Policy Center said Omar may have violated campaign finance. We believe Rep. Omar may have touched the third rail. Oh, wouldn't that be sweet? Love to see her fall on the subway tracks and have one of her big dangling earrings touch that third rail and have her fucking light up and pay off like a pinball machine, this dirty little girl. Dispersing campaign funds for personal use. It's a brazen act, he said. Representative Omar was caught doing this before in Minnesota. The Minnesota Campaign Finance and Public Disclosure Board issued a $500 fine to Omar. $500? You know, because she's a woman of color and she's part of the squad. We'll just hit her light with $500. In June for improperly using her campaign funds to pay for travel to a conference in Florida. So congratulations, you're an official American politician. You're dirty. Okay, so you can't take the moral high ground against Trump anymore. First of all, you hate the country, you hate him, you hate our president, you hate our system, and you're rigging it like everybody else. So please keep your yap shut for the next, 3 light years. That's the guy that she's been banging. I can see why. He's a piece of ass. What a catch. Where'd you meet him, at Comic-Con? Then you got the black broad on the right. That's a nice posture. What the hell is that? She's like, check out my belt buckle. What the fuck is that? That was Whoopi 40 years ago. Anyways, I'm glad to see she's in trouble, and I'm glad that she's officially a dirty politician. Yeah, shut your mouth with your sanctimony. Speaking of sanctimony, here's my least favorite. Hey, Hillary, good news for you. You're no longer the most hated politician ever, for me. It's this jackoff with a fake name, Beto O'Rourke. Real name, Francis Fuckface O'Rourke. You know what he did? He ejected a Breitbart news reporter from an event at a historically black college. I like how they say historically black college. It was just, and then a couple of crackers fucking took classes and ruined everything. Yeah, but he had a Breitbart reporter booted. So, does this guy anger me with his skateboard? You see him the other day making a burger? He filmed him safe. Oh, look, I'm a regular guy. He couldn't even get the burger on the bun. It was like watching, Michael J. Fox try to put it on there.
If I could, I'd grab this microphone, I'd beat your brains out with it, because that's what you deserve. That's what you deserve.
Former Rep. Beto O'Rourke has styled himself as a champion of press freedom, tweeting last October, and I quote, "The press is not the enemy of the people, but the best defense against tyranny." O'Rourke's campaign ejected, this guy refers to himself in this reporter, meaning himself, throughout the article, which kind of turned me off, but he ejected this Breitbart news reporter from a speech at Benedict College, a historically black college, who beat Nebraska 71-0 yesterday in a scrimmage. Yeah, so he's a fucking hypocrite.
You fucking hypocrite.
Several minutes after the 3 p.m. event had been scheduled to begin, a staff member in Beto O'Rourke T-shirt approached the reporter, asked what outlet I represented. Upon reading the press credential on my chest, he put a hand on my shoulder and said, "Nice ass." No, put a hand on my shoulder and said cheerfully, "Oh, hey, okay, all right." A few minutes later, before the event began, a campus police officer approached this reporter, motioned for me to accompany him to the back of the room. By the way, there was other reporters there from other networks all set up, adding that I should bring any property I had with me. In the hallway, he informed me that I was to leave. So much for defending freedom of the press, Beto. You fucking, oh my God. A different member of the O'Rourke campaign staff, who said his name was Steven, wouldn't give me his last name, said I was being ejected because I had been disruptive at past events.
But it was all lies.
This reporter has covered 2 O'Rourke events. This first was at a protest outside a shelter for migrant teens in Homestead, Florida, in June. The second was a College of Charleston bully pulpit lecture in Charleston, South Carolina, on a Monday evening. At no point was there any disruption whatsoever. This reporter asked a question during a press gaggle on Monday evening that was the only interaction of any kind with Beto. The question asked the Democratic presidential hopeful whether misquoting Trump's comments on the riots in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 was consistent with O'Rourke's pledge to heal and not inflame divisions in the country. That's all you had to do, is call him out on his bullshit. Remember, they're still bringing up Charlottesville, and they purposely, I blame Trump administration on this one. They could have straightened it out the next day and said, I didn't mean everybody. I wasn't talking about the real bad people. It was very clear to me. I didn't misinterpret it. But Beto O'Rourke and the rest of these jerks have been repeating that, and it catches on. That's their MO, folks, the Democrats. You say a lie, and because they have the microphone, which is the mainstream media, people hear it over and over again, and because the average American has about an 8th grade mentality, they believe it's the truth. So he's screaming about how Trump attacks the journalists and freedom of the press is so important, yet this guy had the audacity to question him about his fucking lying about a statement Trump made 2 years ago, and that was enough to get him booted. Nice haircut, young Tom Brokaw. Brokaw? I gotta slow down. Here he is seen with his lips pursed as his life partner Billy waves from the balcony. What? Anyways, in the hallway at Benedict, Stephen threatened this reporter, saying that I could either leave voluntarily or be officially uninvited from campus. Wow, you guys sound like you're all for freedom of speech. This is America in 2019, and they're fucking threatening a reporter who has the balls to ask honest questions. But it's Breitbart News, that far-right radical website. Unfriggin' believable. This guy is shameless, and that's why he's polling at -11%. Guy couldn't run a fucking Walmart. This reporter complied with the officer who said he was just doing his job. This reporter has appeared regularly as a guest on, again, he's referring to himself, MSNBC, covered the first 2 Democrat Party presidential primary debates in the 2020 cycle with the approval of both MSNBC and CNN. So he's hardly a troublemaker. He's hardly a Jim Acosta. If this guy should get booted, Jim Acosta should have been hung by his toes in the town square, and we should have cut little pieces at him and thrown fucking Tabasco on. You ever do that? Yummy, yummy. During a town hall that aired on MSNBC last year, O'Rourke was asked by a college professor what he would do to protect press freedom. He said, and I quote, if we don't have a free press, if we cannot make informed decisions at the ballot box, if we can't hold people like me accountable and make sure that we're held honest to the promises that we made, to the job that we're performing in these positions of listen how he's full of himself. If we can't, no wonder why he put the dentist visit. He's got the fucking teeth of a great white. The dentist reached in his mouth, pulled out a license plate from Louisiana. To the job we're before, we'll lose the essence of our democracy. That's what he was quoted as saying.
And you're a piece of shit.
He added that we need to vigorously defend the freedom of the press and that we need to call out violations. Unless that press has a different point of view than my campaign and my left-wing lying cocksucker friends. And then we have every right to boot you and to silence you. Beto O'Rourke. Now, who did that? Yeah, Jace, this isn't fucking 3rd grade, all right? Thank you. He takes a comedic risk, and that's what he comes up with. Something I did on my desk when I was in 3rd grade. At least the teacher was female. I had a bit of a potty mouth. I hung out with my sister Darlene, who's 4 years older than me, her friends. That's who I hung out with because I could play football like really good when I was little. So every time they got a game together, they would call me, and I'd come home. My mother's like, "How'd you do?" I scored 4 fucking touchdowns, motherfucker. Then my dad would come in the kitchen and go,
Run through a motherfucker face.
They would sit down and have grits and pig's feet. It's the other thing I love about shopping down here in the South. You go into the meat section. You see fucking pieces of pig that I didn't know. Actual whole pig's feet. The nails are painted. Pig knuckles. Pig ball sacks. I love that shit. I try everything. I grew up poor in Italy. I grew up in the projects. Some people call them townhouses, but
Run through a motherfucker face.
Speaking of Italy and hairy people, it's the segue. It's my favorite story of the day. The headline reads, children develop werewolf syndrome after taking dodgy meds in Costa del Sol. Once again, another culture, another country. What do you mean, Nick? Well, I'm just saying. Hypertrichosis has developed in 16 children and 2 Greek women from Queens after indigestion medication was tainted. Indigestion. What am I black? The police had some indigestion medication. Was tainted with a remedy for alopecia. Alopecia. Wait, what's alopecia? Jason.
It's when you lose all your hair.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like not like male-powered baldness either. It's like totally unnatural.
Right. Alopecia. You know what? I wrote a bit for Chris Rock. What was the there was a drug to fix alopecia. I don't know, but I named the
Propecia.
Propecia. Thank you, Rich. First time he's contributed accurately to the show in 9 years. Propecia, you're right. I wrote a bit about Propecia. It was a cure for male baldness. Propecia was a whore who would blow guys and would give them their confidence back. And I did a diagram. I based it on the commercial. You know, they used to show the commercial. There's like arrows going up and the guy's hair starts. I had her blowing a guy. Her name was Propecia. For $10, she'd do it, and guys' testosterone levels would go. And Chris said it was too mean. Then he comes out and goes, hope Giuliani's prostate cancer spreads to his face. But anyways, hypertrichosis. At least 16 children have developed werewolf syndrome. Oh, the poor bitches. After taking dodgy medication while in Costa del Sol. What do you mean while in Costa del Sol? They go there on vacation? Mar, I'd like a fur burger. Well, pack your bags. We're heading to Costa del Sol. Kids in the area have developed hypertrichosis, which leads to hair growing all over their bodies. Again, Jewish and Italian fellas and Greek guys and girls can relate to this. Here's a video of this is what happens when they took the medication. This would happen to the poor bastards. That kid's 11 years old. That's me before my first cup of coffee in the morning. Yummy clams. It is believed they have got the condition after taking the medication. They mix it with minoxidil. What kind of doctors are these? We're going to cut your Propecia with minoxidil. Watch Timmy turn into a toupee right before our eyes. Spanish medics. Oh, it's happening in Spain. They're all hairy. What's the big deal? Spanish medics at the Agency of Medicines and Health Products have ordered several batches of the medication to be taken out of circulation. The babies were given tainted omeprazole used to treat acid reflux. Gee, what are you using these kids as guinea pigs? First of all, what 4-year-old kid has acid reflux? Well, I'm all stressed out. The stock market's down and I can't find my orange crayon. What the fuck? The babies with tainted omeprazole used to treat acid reflux and indigestion as part of the formula. Health chiefs are withdrawing the medics from Pharma Química Hospital, Malaga-based pharmaceutical company, out of circulation. They took it out July 11th. Do we have a picture of the fucking... look at this. This little girl. Isn't that fucking horrible? Hi, this is my daughter Diane. Oh, I thought she was a toilet seat cover. Look, she's sweating. You know, can you imagine you're living over there, it's 111, or even down here. Look at this. This poor kid. Now, I got to be honest with you. It reminds me, we just had my dog put to sleep. And anybody see the resemblance? Anybody? Nothing? Look at that. So this kid, what he did was, they put him in one of those, where do you bring dogs to the pound? People come by. What do you call that?
Kennel?
Yeah, the kennel. Is that a kennel? I don't even think it is. I'm just saying yes, we won't talk anymore. So people adopted him. They were looking for a dog, and they see this guy in a cage, this little kid in a cage next to two baby Rottweilers and a fucking mutilated Chihuahua, and they said, we'll take that one home. I don't know what's more offensive, the hair on this poor boy's face or his shirt. Anyways, the hair growth supposedly subsides when the babies stop taking the medicine. You mean when the parents stop injecting them with shit? Or the doctors? At least 16 cases have been reported, 13 after the first batch and 3 after a second wave of them. You think after the first batch, when your kid comes home looking like a fucking Cocker Spaniel, you go, we better lay off that. Health chiefs believe the contamination could affect up to 30 pharmacies in more than 50 batches. The pharmaceutical company has a supplier in India. You know, a billion people in India could have this and nobody would know. What are you saying? A little here? Oh, they're a little bit. Where it is believed the contamination was made at source, reports Grandahoy. That's my screen name, by the way, Grandahoy. Spanish authorities say the issue is isolated to the formulas for children. Hypertrichosis is a rare condition which causes hair growth all over the body in excess. It can develop from birth or all the mistakes. They mean, can I just, every day I read these. These are professional writers and shit. I gloss over a lot of it. You guys don't even, I'm that quick on my feet. It can develop from birth or be contacted later in life. You mean contracted? Or do you mean I can call and go, let me speak to the hairy kid? Fucking A. Where was the other slip up on this page? It's not important, but I'm petty like that. Seriously, though, I'm trying to do news here. There's like 11 people watching. I get this wrong, and we're fucked. Next thing you know, Deke's not showing up for work. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do, motherfucker.
What the hell's going on out here?
Bunch of illiterates, Vince. Anyways, again, stop with the medication and get the kid a fucking, you know. Can I get a number 3, please? And you know how much money these kids save on Halloween costumes, honestly? Who are you? I'm Chewbacca. I don't even know Chewbacca. I've never seen the movie, but he was a hairy one, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
Is that right, Dick? Yeah. I watched about 4 minutes of Star Wars. You know what I did? I spit up blood. I hated it so much. I just can't suspend my disbelief. It was R2-D2, whatever the fuck. You know, the bowling trophy talking to a vacuum cleaner. That's what I got out of it. Oh, you should really watch the whole thing. Yeah, I'd rather watch a snuff film where I die in the end. Please come to Denver, she said no. Boy, why don't you come home to me? I'm all caffeined up. It's key to good radio / live streaming shows. Hey, folks, breaking news and good news. I woke up this morning, no shit in my underwear. I'm serious, it made my day. I actually checked. Spent all day doing laundry yesterday. It was like I was working at a nursing home. Unbelievable. Clean my ass. I actually looked at it in the mirror. Clean as a... I posed for like 3 minutes. I was going to take a selfie, but, you know, that gets out on the internet. Next thing you know, I'm being turned down for a job at JCPenney, which is out of business. Here's my favorite story of the day. This was sent by Jason, my producer. This one made my day because, you know, my dad has Alzheimer's, and you have to find the humor in it. I'm actually doing a bit on stage about this. I've read 6 or 7 books on Alzheimer's, and okay, I've read the cover and the back, the endorsement of whoever. But luckily, I have a sister who was a nurse, X-ray technician. Now she's like a higher up at a hospital. I got a niece who works at a nursing home. My other sister is just the best. She's always there. My other 2 sisters are always there for my dad, helping him out and stuff. My brother's the business guy. My brother fucking, is a business whiz. He's semi-retired. He's 17. And they say there should be one person at least who has a sense of humor about it in the family. Entered the jokester. But so this made me smile. And Japanese culture, they respect the elderly unbelievably. They, I almost confused it with it. Was it the Eskimos that put your grandmother on a block of ice and float her out? Nothing? 3 years never heard that? I'm not making that shit up. If I had Eskimo relatives and they saw that I shit my pants, they'd put me on a block of ice. But the Japanese, they revere older people, and as they should, as opposed to this country. When you hit, 57, that's what I am. Nobody gives a fuck. They're like, he doesn't even have traps anymore. This is the name of the restaurant of order mistakes. I thought they were talking about fucking Arby's. Or IHOP. They only staff, listen to this, only staff waiters with dementia, so every order is a surprise.
Dog food! I saw his dog food!
Recently, a pop-up restaurant in Tokyo spent 3 days in operation changing the public's perception of those suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. The restaurant of order mistakes, which was open... I just thought of a clip we got to... They're so good-natured, they don't mind that the orders are wrong. As opposed to over here, when like a black guy doesn't get enough ketchup at McDonald's, he climbs through the window. Or a white guy. Or a Polish kid. Just want to cover all angles. But I'm just saying, how many fights have we seen in fast food places because somebody didn't get the order right? Somebody gets shot. So listen to this. The restaurant, which it opened in early June, was staffed by sufferers of these disorders. 6 smiling waitresses in diapers who thought they were at the zoo, took orders and served food to customers who came in knowing they may not get what they asked for. Try that in America. Go ahead. Each waitress suffers either from dementia or Alzheimer's, hence the name of the restaurant. I wonder if they had to do job interviews. So what was your last job? And the lady gets up and shits in the wastebasket. You're like, you're hired. Fuck, what's the matter with me? Hence the name of the restaurant. Here's a waitress, Masuhu Kudu. Oh, she was a customer during the event. Tweeted that while she ordered a hamburger, gyoza dumplings came out of the kitchen instead. But she noted it was all in fun and smiles. The meal enjoyed nonetheless. I would have been pissed. I ordered a burger, bitch. I know you're in your late hundreds, but motherfucker. The concept was developed by like-minded executives. Does that mean they were crazy too? From television, advertising, and the restaurant industry. It's a non-profit venture. Well, of course, I don't think you're gonna blow up like Amazon when somebody asks for a burger and they get a sneaker filled with mustard. Anyways, it's a nonprofit venture for them with cooking done by professionals to show that people with dementia or Alzheimer's are still capable of more than we think. After the initial success, the organizers are planning on organizing another event for World Alzheimer's Day on September 21st. One guy ordered, I think he ordered, it was the General Tso's chicken, and this is what he got, and he ate it anyways. Nope. There goes that joke. Anyway. He's like, listen, I ordered General Tso's chicken. Close enough.
Nấu đúng nậu vậy à? Mà cạnh nhiều cao hơn shit.
Let me translate for you. He said, this is supposed to be broccoli with a slice of lemon. Okay, can I just ask you, he ate that. I ate some braised ribs that might have been a little aged, and I shit blood for like 24 hours. This kid's going to be fine? I bet you he died a week after this video. Somebody get him a Tic Tac. Here's a waitress. This guy wanted crushed pepper for his meal, and she put it on his balls. Look, smiling away. That's not even a pepper mill. She broke a leg off the chair. Some old guy fell down. Look at does the customer look happy there? He's like, Betty, enough already. What, did Jim Florentine hire you? Anybody see Florentine do that? It still makes me uncomfortable. He does these prank things. He's got himself, this has been out there for like 10 years. He goes to a restaurant, asks for cracked pepper. The guy starts doing it. You're supposed to say when. He wouldn't say anything. And the guy's going and it goes on for like a minute. I'm sweating bullets watching it. I don't know how he can do that shit. Waiter's looking at him, really? Looked like he fell down a coal shaft by the end of the... Anyways, I think this is a heartwarming story. I really do. Putting him to work. I just hope it doesn't get out because, big corporations, the ones that Bernie's, the corporations are now hiring Alzheimer's patients to save on money. They don't give them cash at the end of the day. They're giving them crackers and cheese, telling them it's a $100 bill. The rich get richer. But that's what's going to happen. Supermarkets, we already have the Down syndrome kids at the supermarket, and they do just fine. They're actually more personable down here. I'm doing a study on Southern Down syndrome kids. Maybe it's just the accent. I don't know. But go ahead, Rich.
I think it's a horrible business model because you could just tell the waitress, I already paid the check.
That's a good point. Not a bad joke. How about a hand for Rich? We'll give him a C- on that. You pay the check when there's Asian people serving you? What are you, a sucker? I've been in 1,900 Chinese restaurants. I paid twice. I go, excuse me, can you tell me where the men's room is? And they go, yeah, it's over there, and I take off that way as they point. Linda Smith is a comedian back in the day. That was one of her big jokes. It was a Chinese restaurant, opened a fortune cookie, and it said, take a risk today. So I fucking ran. I'm not paying the check. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure that's COPD or lung cancer. Anyways, let's stay in the medical field. What am I talking about? That was a restaurant story. Well, headline: Surgeon saves man's hand by attaching it to his groin for 2 weeks. Why is that a headline? My hand has been attached to my groin for 57 years. It's the old Hancock procedure, as they say. We have a picture of the guy who created it, for Christ's sake. There he is. That's John Hancock. For some reason, he has a ShamWow draped over his head. Was he fucking gay? Look at him. Nice white turtleneck, lipstick. Carpenter Anthony Lelliott was cutting floorboards with an electric saw when he almost completely cut off his hand in 2 places, by the way. That kind of stuff. Anthony Lelliott underwent 17 hours of surgery done by a surgeon who has Alzheimer's. She's a Japanese woman. See, I told you other industries are going to dip into this. The 46-year-old suffered a double-level amputation, almost completely cut off his hand in 2 places. But doctors at St. George's Hospital in Tooting, where I have a summer home. Have you been to Tooting? It's a little better than shitting. A little more pricey as far as the South London, were able to help him regain the use of his hand through unusual means. They attached it to his groin for 2 weeks to help the skin grow back. This sounds like a fraternity prank. You pass out and they put your hand on your own dick and they sew it. Come on, we've all had that happen. Consultant plastic surgeon Roger Adler was on call. He described the injury as probably the most complex amputation he has ever dealt with. There are many surgeons who, once they had seen that level injury, would think it was unsalvageable, Mr. Adler said, blowing his own horn. But not me. I wanted to see this guy's dick bad. This is like going to a dentist, to have a root canal, and he starts fucking, he gives you, a nice ass exam. Mr. Lellitt's hand was almost completely severed at the base of his palm, just below the fingers. There was blood spurting out everywhere. It was like my wife's heavy day. What? Nobody needs to say shit like that. That's unnecessary. Don't do it again.
Run through a motherfucker face.
Firstly, the doctors fixed his broken bones. Then they harvested nerve and vein grafts from his forearm and foot, respectively, with these used to bridge the gaps across his wounds. After working overnight to carry out the operation, which saved Mr. Lelliott's hand, doctors noticed that his middle finger lacked bone stability, and his wife complained, or failing, and opted to sacrifice it and use the bone and skin to help reconstruct his palm. But there was still not enough skin to cover his palm, so doctors said, hey, get this. One of them was drunk. Let's cut a flap of skin in his groin, sew his hand to it. He wakes up, he thinks he'll be jerking off, but he won't. It'll be terrific. Who's with me? 3 of the doctors raised their hands. So they left it there for 2 weeks. They sewed his... This is fascinating. Oh, that's a picture of it. Oh, no. So when they took his hand off his groin, his balls came with it? Or that's somebody's ball? What? Jesus, I think I rather lost my hand. Imagine you shake this guy's hand. It's like you're fucking checking him for a hernia. They cut it free once the skin from his groin had grown new roots to where to transfer him to Mr. Lelliott's hand. He has since regained some movement and feeling in his hand following work therapists. And that's just, I guess it's a good story. But if that's the end result, like the lady that got attacked by the chimp, do you remember that one? Remember her face got chewed the fuck off? By the way, that's the best joke I ever came up with. I'm not going to do it here, but you can imagine where I went with it. There was another story where a rapper beat up his girlfriend. And it's a comedy seller. It got a 3-minute applause break. I shit you not. I thought of it on the way to work, and probably why I'm finished in showbiz. But that's tremendous that they can. I mean, they can sew your hand to your cock. I'd have that done even if I didn't cut my hand. I just very lonely. Speaking of guys with hands on their dicks, Bernie Sanders back in the news. Only Jewish fella who doesn't understand money. Bernie tries to praise communist China, accidentally praises a capitalism. All of a sudden, he's a big Chinese fan. He didn't always like the Chinese. We have a picture of him. I thought it was kind of, he had a lot of balls doing this. And see, I mean, this is where we're having the tariff wars with China. This is Bernie. Look at the 2 ladies. The lady on the left's like, I can do Chinese eyes too. And the lady on the right's like, fucking Barbara, how dare you? But here's Bernie talking about how good China is at taking care of their poor people.
Mistaken, they have made more progress in addressing extreme poverty than any country in the history of civilization. Okay, so they've done a lot of things for their people.
What he fails to point out, and even I figured it out before I fucking read the article, you know how they take care, do you know how they brought all these people out of poverty? Hey, Bernie, it's a little thing called capitalism, something that you've dedicated fighting your whole life. That's how they did it. Yeah. Statistics to prove it. They moved to a more of an entrepreneurial society, and that's how they really did it. The numbers, but he's praising something that he's been shitting on his whole life. Yeah, he didn't acknowledge free market principles, which allowed China to lift millions of its citizens out of poverty. Never before in history have so many people escaped poverty in such a short time as in the past decades in China, according to official World Bank figures. Listen to these figures are impressive. The percentage of extremely poor people in China in 1981 stood at 88.3%. By 2015, only, get this, 0.7% of the Chinese population was living in extreme poverty. I wonder what the definition of China is of extreme poverty. Over here, it's if you don't have 4 flat-screen TVs and 2 Mercedes. Over there, I don't know what it is. In this period, the number of poor people in China fell from, listen to this, 878 million to less than 10 million. So the Chinese figured it out, but Detroit can't. Sanders' comment about how China has done a lot of things for their people does not stand up well next to scrutiny. He did not address how China's communist government has oppressed religious people and minorities, putting at least 1 million Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps while instituting one of the most comprehensive surveillance states in history. To be fair to Bernie, he does mention that. I'll put it in he does mention that they become more authoritative in their approach to government. And I think that's what he meant. So I'm gonna, defend him on that. But he, boy, he looks tired there. Was this the same day he told the waitresses to fuck off because his tea was cold? But does he understand? I want to know. Like he comes out with that statement. Is his campaign workers going, what the fuck's he doing? What's he doing? He's actually praising the American capitalist system. I mean, Liz Warren, titless Liz Warren must have been belly laughing when she saw it. She's like, I would never give America any credit. But that's how they did it. That's how they wiped out poverty, by using, free markets. Sanders also did not acknowledge that China is a Mao Zedong carried out the largest mass murder in world's history against the China. Well, he's talking about the economy. According to the authoritative Black Book of Communism, and why is it going to be black? That's racist. An estimated 65 million Chinese died as a result of Mao's repeated merciless attempts to create a new socialist China, which is what Bernie's trying to do over here, only with Americans. That 65 million number is approximately the same number of people who were killed in World War II. Zeke, I bet you did not know that. That's some wild stuff. I got a cold. Right now I could just go and hit the screen. I've had a head cold, and then, smoking a pack a day doesn't help. But I could just, like a hockey player, after doing a shift. I was going to go into the story about Silicon Valley building a Chinese-style social credit system, but Jason wanted me to put this rolling ball of poop thing. That's why I had them lined up. But real quickly, you know about the social credit thing in China? It's a way of keeping people in line and behaving. Like if you're a smoker, the government does this. They track you. First of all, there's a billion cameras in China. I mean, you see the tourists over here, so that's not. So they watch your every move. If you're a smoker, if you cause a fight somewhere or whatever, they deduct points. I'm just reviewing this article real quick. So they keep like a credit score. And when you hit a certain level and your credit's really, horrible, you're not allowed to check into a hotel, use public transportation. That's how they keep their people in line. And what's dangerous is starting to happen in Silicon Valley. It's sort of like, the Uber thing when you can rate the driver, well, they can rate you, and this is the beginning of private companies over here using that same philosophy. Airbnb, and the problem with it is, you could stay at Airbnb, and if the guy just didn't like you for some reason, he could say, well, he trashed my whatever, and there's no legal recourse. Now you can't stay at an Airbnb anywhere because they have their own blacklists. Other examples were the things at bars. When you go to a bar, they have a scanner. Now they have a blacklist of people who have started fights at bars and shit or whatever, and they won't. Next thing you know, you can't get into any bars in your area or whatever. It's getting creepy. And again, can I just say Silicon Valley, big tech industry, that's all left-wing horseshit. That's what they're for, tyranny. And it's quietly seeping in. That's the big concern. So, again, I draw the same conclusion. Civil war by 1 o'clock. Were you going to say something there, Deke?
I was just going to say I'm more comfortable with it being private companies versus the government doing it.
Why is that? You have no recourse, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand what you say. I don't want any of that. You don't want the government but eventually, you know who owns our government? Big tech.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then they're working hand in hand. When they make that leap, that's the danger.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
It is. But I don't want anybody having me on a list. Jesus Christ, I'd have to stay in my house the rest of my life. But that's what social media is now. You guys grew up with it. Guys your age are in deep. They go for a job interview. No, we have you jerking off a donkey at a fraternity party. But seriously, it's the same. It's the same thing, you know. So it's getting creepy. I know the internet has brought great stuff. I mean, you know, you can buy a canoe and have it at your house the next day, or watch a guy in Oklahoma fucking his horse. All the real good stuff. But go to nickdip.com and watch Breath of Fresh Air, which is, it's going to hit 700,000 views real soon. YouTube subscribers, listen to this. In a week or less, I think I've added 7,000. They put up a clip from Breath of Fresh Air. It's titled, What to Do When Somebody Calls You a Nazi or something. We put that up, what, 5 days ago, Jace, maybe? It's up to 180, 190,000 views. Something's percolating. If I'm not filthy rich in 2 years, I'm going to hang myself in this studio. That'll make me famous. Life's just a shitstorm, is it not, kids? Speaking of shit, how about these dung beetles? That's how I segue into that.
Run through a motherfucker face.
This might be my favorite show that we've done so far. Tourists alerted to mysterious rolling balls of poop. No, not in downtown Cleveland. This is in Great Smoky Mountains. Where the hell's Great Smoky Mountains? Deke, you probably know. You're a hillbilly. In what may be the oddest public notice ever issued by the National Park Service, tourists are being alerted that brown balls seen rolling across trails in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park are animated animal poop. What do cartoons have to do with this? Closer inspection, however, reveals dung beetles, also known as chicken tenders. No. Also known as tumblebugs, are the ones behind the balls of crap which they roll around as part of their birthing process. Similar to the poor people's birthing process. Anyone who thinks canthon beetles are cute should keep in mind they also like to eat poop. So do German people. I don't like them. As if to prove beetles are moving the poop, the Park Service posted a video of one of the bugs using its back legs to roll a perfectly formed ball across the trail from which the ball was, you know, crafted. We have the video. That looks like I'm at the Olive Garden. I ordered the meatballs. This is the Dung Beetle Strongman competition on ESPN. You can watch 8 hours of this. That looks like an arancine ball. If you guys know what arancine is, it's a rice ball, deep fried, that the Italians pretended they made up. Look how strong this little motherfucker is. This is the NFL Combine. This guy was selected second out of the University of Texas. Anybody? Nothing? Anyhow, it does make me a little hungry looking at that. I can be honest.
Bon appetit.
Female tumblebugs lay one egg each in their dung balls. If I had a nickel every time I heard that. So the larva can develop without having to compete with their siblings for nourishment. It's like growing up in an Irish family with 18 brothers. The male will help bury the balls of dung. What male here hasn't buried their balls in some dung? Huh? Every gay guy that fucks buries his balls in dung. This might be the show of the year, ladies and gentlemen. The male will help bury the balls of dung in the ground for safekeeping. In doing so, the beetles, which grow about to about 5/8 of an inch, also do hike as the service of keeping trails free of aromatic, decomposing animal shit, park officials said. And then they had their mouths washed out with beetle dung. That's one of my favorite animals on the planet right there. Look at its little feet, for Christ's sake. That thing weighs 20 times what he does. Only thing stronger than that is what? A 14-year-old Russian female gymnast who's on steroids. I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than a school officer, she was a female, fired after filming nude video of herself in elementary school bathroom. Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oh, that dirty cocksucker.
A school resource officer is out of a job after she filmed a nude video of herself inside an elementary school bathroom during her shift. I like to say kissing me, I hear, but now it's kissing me. Kissing me. I can't even. Kissing me. That's how they say it now. I say kissing me, especially with this type of nude shit going on. It's kissing me. Kissimmee police said the woman removed her badge, uniform, and gun when she went to the bathroom at Kissimmee. It's my brother calling me. Charter Academy to make the video for her husband in December. Let's take a look at the video that's pixelated, so it bores the shit out of me, but go ahead.
This is a school resource officer leaving little to the imagination. The Kissimmee Police Department says she was working here at the Imagine Kissimmee Charter Academy back in December when she made this video and sent it to her husband. The video that has been cut down and blurred out shows the deputy naked in what they say was a staff bathroom with her uniform, her gun, and pepper spray on the ground. In it, she asks the recipient what they think of what she was doing. She was doing things we just can't show you on TV.
Pussies.
You're fired. 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 You're fired.
Right. I didn't know it was that long. Sorry. She's supposed to be protecting kids. You know, and her thing was, well, I wasn't, whatever. I don't even know what her excuse was. It was so stupid. She was on break, lunch break, whatever the fuck. Oh, yeah, because nobody could break into the school and shoot up the school where you're. Can you imagine? You remember Parkland shooting, the coward outside, right? Who got in all kinds of trouble. He got canned or whatever. This broad's filming her titties for her husband, who's so bored with her titties at this point. That's a great shot. A belly button with a distended rib cage. I mean, it's the internet. We can't get more than fucking dirty nude. That could be her elbow with a. Anyway, she's in there stripping. This is why we're rotting as a society. People said we would cave from the inside, and not just this incident. You know, I'm talking about an aggregation of these stories every day. We read about some sick stuff, and we're rotting from the inside out. Her job is to protect kids at school. Nick, you're getting too high. No, I'm sorry. It's not like, if we had no shootings in the history of, okay, I might give her a pass. What, dummy? Say it. Don't look at me with that retarded look. What?
I bet her husband did a mass shooting.
Ugh. Fucking asshole. Did you, Rich? Is that what you thought? I bet he looked at her and went, what is she fucking doing? She should be protecting the kids. Anyway, she got canned, and it's another example of us rotting from the inside out. She's responsible for kids. I would have loved it. No, I don't want to see kids get killed, but if somebody ran in there with a gun. Well, like the kid that walked into Walmart after, remember the next day in El Paso, that kid walked just to see what would happen. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. He was in fatigue, right, Deke? I'm just saying, you can imagine if somebody did that fucking, she's in there diddling herself. Go ahead, Deke.
Or she just runs out with a gun and nothing else on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what would that, you know what that would do? Or get her own sitcom on ABC at 8 o'clock. Look at this strong woman with a supple body. And it's the other thing I hate on commercials. When I see weight loss commercials, I've been pointing this one out for about 10 years. Always the fat woman in the commercial. There's both men and women in the commercial. But with the fat women, it's always because they had 3 kids. It's not that they're just lazy fucks. It's always pregnancy fat they're trying to lose. Then they cut to the guy laying on the couch with an air hose up his ass, and a Yoo-hoo bottle. Maybe you had kids. Yeah, that's the only reason women get fat. What's that, Dick?
Jason won't say it because he's too timid, but he just muttered to me. He said, no badge, just vag.
Again, that's about as funny as it Rich, because they rhyme. That's supposed to be funny. Oh, my. Jace, you're 0 for 2.
Well, there's a reason I didn't say it.
It's a good point.
I thought it was funny.
Did you really? Now all 3 of you disappointed me. Feel like the Raging Bull. I'll take care of you later. Let's review the comedy that's been done. By the way, we wrote, Jason wrote something, Joke School, that I guess it was just a fake. We were never going to do it. Rich, what was your first joke?
The mass shooting one?
Was that the first one of the day?
I'm too focused. I can't,
Shut your fucking hole. Yeah, mass shooting, unfunny. Badge, strike 2. And then Deke laughing at it. You get called out looking on a fastball right down the middle. They tried, folks. It's unbelievable. I think that's enough for today. What, stupid?
I have
what?
one about the dung balls.
Go ahead.
I said the Beatles would love San Francisco.
The Beatles did love San Francisco. They performed there like 15 times between 1960 and 1968. There's a little pun for all you fuck stains out there. God, he waits to tell a bad joke.
No! No, 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 no! No! No, no, no!
They analyze my tweets. This is how they do a personality test based on tweets. Rich found this. It should be a real hoot. And they base it on emotional style, social style, and thinking style. What is it, from 0 to 100, I guess, is the fucking gauge. And it says emotional style. This is based on 855 most recent words that I've tweeted. Nick DiPaolo. How'd you do this? You put my name in and this comes up?
Yeah, IT stuff.
IT stuff. Oh, he sounds like he works at NASA. You wouldn't understand. Just look at the graph, stupid. Fuck stain. Analysis of tweets from Nick DiPaolo. 855 most recent words. I haven't said 855 words in the last 6 years. They gave me this. You know how I know this is bullshit? They give me a 54 on upbeat. Go ahead, suck the life out of it, stupid.
I think it was pretty accurate. I mean, you're angry, upbeat. I mean, you're.
I'm getting to it. Now I'm fucking angry. Angry, high, 62. They got that right. Ooh, they must be detectives. Worried, 64%. My worry factor is higher than my fucking anger factor? Maybe I'm angry because I'm worried. Depressed, low of 38. They are not watching this show. Social style, plugged in, I get a 50. Personable, I get a 72. How am I not a star? I'm personable, I'm emotionally upbeat. You sure this isn't Sally Jesse Raphael's? Arrogant, look, they give me a low on arrogance, 37. They are not paying attention. I am a fucking asshole. Space Valley Girl. I don't get that. Why is that a category?
Ditzy.
Ditzy? I know what it means, Dink. I'm asking why it's a category. You're as dumb as your fucking dung beetles that you love so much. Rich is just, I look at him and he brings the anger out of me, folks. I'm sorry. The guy is just, he says to me yesterday, I just want you to be happy. Like he's my fucking manager or my mother or something. And I said to him, I just want you to die in your sleep tonight.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, you thought wrong, fuckface. I can't stand you.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, Will Robinson.
That's enough for today, folks. I love these guys. Just because I treat them like a 12-year-old Asian girl's making sneakers for Nike. Don't read into that. That is it. Remember, Cameo.com. Alan Marshall, hi. I'm going to help your self-esteem. Go ahead.
So we actually have a correction on that. It is Andrew Marshall.
Oh, Andrew Marshall. Sorry. God. Going to give him now he's going to be fucking screaming for the next 3 weeks. Andrew Marshall. Andrew. He sends money. He does. He's a dedicated fan, and we appreciate it. Just quit whining. Anyways, that is our show. I'm tired. I don't give a shit. You think it, I'll say it. Your mother will cook it. I don't know what to say. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.